Merton, there are multiple things to discuss here, and I didn't know this until Christy told me you should have been a Cowboy, but we'll get to that in just a minute. As a child, Merton, you were the most hated San Francisco 49er on that team, and then yesterday we did a segment where we asked for the top 3 most hated San Francisco 49ers, and your name came up every single time somebody texted in. Why do you think that Dallas Cowboys fans feel that way about you?
Well, I think that Dallas Cowboys fans are knowledgeable football fans, and they appreciate great competition, and they appreciate making sure that their teams rise to the occasion against great competition. And so fortunate enough to be able to play against some of the greatest Cowboy teams ever assembled, quite honestly. I like to say more often than not did okay would be the reason probably I have some detractors amongst the Cowboy fans.
What a nice way to put that.
Yeah, he's already winning some people over, I can tell. Actually, from the 903, boo. All right, so we'll get back to that. But whenever you were playing for the Niners, that rivalry for our age group is like that's what we were living and dying with was Cowboys-Niners every single year. That was the Super Bowl. And from y'all's side, I never really got to hear y'all's perspective on this team. I remember Jay Novacek recently said we were cocky, but we could back it up. And I thought that was both the epitome of both teams at the time. How did y'all really feel about the Cowboys?
Well, I think it probably varies from player to player. I think that I look at it from more of a business sense. The bottom line, and I've said this repeatedly over the course of many years, the NFL is a better league when the Cowboys are good and in the playoffs and when the 49ers are good and in the playoffs. It's the best thing for business for the National Football League from a geographic standpoint, from a fan interest standpoint. When you have that many great, and I say great players, we often talk about all of our various Hall of Famers, but the team I was on in 1994 either had a All-Pro player, a Pro Bowl player, a Hall of Fame player, or a player like myself who's been nominated for the Hall of Fame at every starting position on both sides of the ball, and in some places too deep. You couldn't put that team together in today's salary cap area because you couldn't afford to pay them. So it's a special time to remember that, and it's really good for the business of football. From San Francisco's perspective and from my teammates' perspective, Dallas was an organization that we had to get through to get to our goal of winning championships. We're always very businesslike about it. Rises in emotion go from player to player, but the bottom line is the bottom line. We needed to defeat the Cowboys to get to the Super Bowl and win the title. That's the only thing that really mattered at the end of the day.
And will you agree that Deion Sanders did pass interfere on Michael Irvin at the 2-yard line, and Emmett would have run it in for a touchdown, and it would have been 3 straight?
Definitely not. That was a great play by Deion. I will say that I had a phantom holding call against Guy McIntyre in the 1992 championship game that took away a touchdown. We really should have won that game.
Whoa!
I would say wholeheartedly. And this isn't conjecture, this isn't my opinion. Jimmy Johnson, the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, openly said and stated on record that the 1992 San Francisco 49ers were the better team than the Cowboys. They just happened to be better that day. And there was a definitely phantom holding call that took points off the board. So we can always find things to quibble over.
Okay.
If you want to go down that road, I'm happy to do it.
I did not realize we would relitigate things that we won. I probably wasn't prepared for that.
Let's go ahead and redact that one.
Here's what I need to know then. Are you willing to admit there were times in your career where you held or pass interfered? Because every defensive back I ever see was like, what are you talking about? I was playing defense.
Was there a flag thrown on the play?
I
mean, it's DB. I have a hashtag on Twitter, DB Nation. Every defensive back understands the unique challenge of playing, especially in today's NFL rules. I personally don't know how these great athletes do it. It's what Diggs has done for the Dallas Cowboys this year. Absolutely phenomenal, given the rule set against defensive backs. You can't touch these great athletes for the most part down the field past 5 yards. It's very phenomenal what Diggs has done. And our cornerbacks for the 49ers, they've gotten better. They've gotten healthy. It'll be a great matchup this Sunday.
You can help us out with something that we've been trying to figure out forever. What should the conversion rate be between interceptions and sacks? Like, an interception should be worth how many sacks? Because people are like, TJ Watt got 22 and a half sacks. And we're like, yeah, Trevon Diggs had 11 interceptions. Like, what's a good conversion rate that you think an interception should be worth?
Yeah, what does it count?
Those two things they really feed off of one another, because you want pressure on the quarterback. That certainly, I think anyone that's watched football any amount of time understands that'll help your secondary in that respect. I will say this: a sack doesn't necessarily get your defense off the field, but it certainly improves the probability of the defense getting off the field in any 3 to 4 down range. Interception definitely gets your team off the field, and you always want to provide your offense with as many extra opportunities at possessions as possible. That's why interceptions are vastly, in my mind, more important. I'd rather have the Diggs season where I'm picking up 11 additional opportunities to put the offense in Dak Prescott's hands, as opposed to the 21 sacks. I can get by with 12 to 15 sacks, but give me that 8-9 interceptions, that 8 or 9 more opportunities for our offense to score points. And as we've seen in these close games, especially how the NFL builds their schedule, rivalry games, people are losing games by 2 and 3 points. That possession is a big deal. So give me the interception.
Merton, I only have one question to take you back in history. Then I'll have a few more about this current game on Sunday. When the 49ers traded Charles Haley to the Dallas Cowboys, obviously that took the Cowboys to another level. How were you guys feeling at the time being on the 49ers that you sent? We know Charles Haley too, sent that person, and I know that there was issues there, but sent that good of a player to the Cowboys to take them to the level that they went to.
I would say it was and again, it's not just my opinion. Troy Aikman has said it. Others have said it directly on the team. That was the key linchpin to help put the Cowboys over the top as being a dominant Super Bowl power as they move forward. Is you can make an argument amongst the trade mistakes, Herschel Walker, Vikings trade deal, us 49ers sending Charles to the Cowboys was the single biggest trade mistake. Number one, you don't send Hall of Fame type talent within the conference. Number two, you definitely don't send them to your chief rival that needs a pass rusher, that you're going to see that team, for the foreseeable future as far as Super Bowl aspirations. But unfortunately, they spiraled to a point where Charles needed to change the scenery and really became a key cog, really, if not one, but 2 great NFL organizations. So tremendous trade for the Cowboys, for Jerry. You got to give Jerry credit for sticking with Charles, because Charles will admit he was a handful to deal with, at that stage in his life. But he was the key reason the Cowboys became the Cowboys. He allowed them to do a lot of things defensively that otherwise they wouldn't have been able to do.
All right, Morton. So 49ers win on Sunday because
49ers are a bad matchup for the Cowboys in this instance. They can run the ball, and they're not some teams, some NFL teams. We all watch the football. Some teams can run the ball, but they don't like to run the ball. They do it just enough so they can throw the ball. The 49ers want to run the ball. They want to put the ball in the running back's hands 35 to 45 times a game. So, the old adage, put your big boy pads on. It's going to be a lot of handoffs and for the 49ers, they can get in third down and be, 3 or less. That's to their favor. They mirror the Cowboys defensively. They got a pretty good pass rush. Bosa's, that guy's the truth. Much like Michael Parsons, much like the defense line of Cowboys. So that'll be an interesting chess match to watch. And if the 49ers can get within a turnover area of, say, -1, they're not giving away more than 1 turnover throughout the game, I think they've got a legitimate shot. I think it's very difficult to beat a team in the playoffs when they're playing at home, especially a team the caliber of the Cowboys and what they have athletically, both offensively and defensively. But if the 49ers are going to win, they're going to drop 175 rushing on the Cowboys and really control the clock.
Well, and being a secondary player, being a safety in that position, which the Cowboys made a good decision this year and said, hey, we'll value that position. But you guys, I mean, you got Amari Cooper with the Cowboys, you got CeeDee Lamb, and then I know Cedric Wilson and Michael Gallup, you can make your coin flip there however you want. The Cowboys have some talented receivers, yet there have been times this season where defenses have found ways to limit that receiving group and Dak from doing what they want to do. I know there's the Niners defense, the secondary is a little suspect at times. What is it about those talented receivers that other teams are being able to find out, well, that's how we can slow them down?
I will say this, depending on the rhythm, and I've watched a lot of Cowboys games, as you can imagine, depending on the rhythm that Dak gets into, those three receivers are as good as any in the league. And I say three, the tight end is turned into a really good player as well, right? That guy's, he's shown up big. The person that really captures my attention, Cedric Wilson would be a wide receiver too on anybody else's team. That guy is a playmaker. Every time you look up, he's making plays, and they're big plays and they're timely. He's really proven himself to be a valuable piece. You add CD, obviously, what Amari is as a receiver, drawing double coverage, those type of things. I do think it's going to be a challenge for the 49ers to contain the Dallas passing attack. They get that thing rolling there. Look, there's a reason when you have that much talent, and Mike McCarthy's not shy about spreading the ball around. I know Gallup, I believe Gallup is out with an injury.
He's done for the season.
Yeah. So, Cedric Wilson would be a big key. That'll be an interesting chess match. I want to see if, the third corner safety, Ward is a very good cover safety for the 49ers. Quite frankly, if he can keep up with Cedric Wilson, that may be an advantage for the Cowboys, to your point. Just some really big-time studs in that passing attack for the Cowboys.
Does the fact that you're literally in the Metroplex as we speak make you want to root for the Cowboys on Sunday?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No.
Okay. All right.
But I will say this.
About it.
I will say this. I'm great. I'm a great admirer and great friends with the Jones family. I'm a great admirer and great friends with Dak Prescott and some of the Cowboys. I individually want them to do well and play well and be healthy. But being the homer for the team I play with, it wouldn't hurt my feelings to see the 49ers win the game.
Is there anything in your life after football that has made you do your neck dance?
Oh, absolutely. All kind of good stuff going on. As we all are blessed to be alive and working and seeing our kids grow and life happening. Yeah, it pops out every now.
When did you start the neck dance? Did that happen at Lake Highlands?
No. That was well into my professional career. Ironically, watching Bert and Ernie on Sesame Street with my daughters, and we were kind of playing around and moving around, and it found its way to the practice field and popped up. Ironically, in the old Texas Stadium in Irving, Texas, was the first time it was officially debuted versus the Cowboys in 1995 on I think Marquez Pope had a strip of Michael Irvin, picked up a fumble and took it into the end zone for a touchdown, and it showed itself there.
Has a great radio interview ever made you want to break it out just a little bit?
Is there any you want to do it now?
Well, as I like to say, I'm a Christian capitalist. I usually get paid for those type of things. So,
sure.
Since I'm doing this for free, no.
Okay, that's very fair, man.
It is fair.
You convince some people. There are still some people they're dyed in the blue still and they'll never change their mind. But you did convince some people. So well done, and obviously go Cowboys.
It's an honor and a privilege. I look forward to a great game. Keep it up, gentlemen. Listen to you quite a bit. You all do a great job.